I'm Steve Turano with Ask a Real Expert. King Rocket asks this great question. He said, Steve, we know you already can build muscle on a calorie deficit, meaning you can build muscle and lose fat. He says, but if I wanted to maximize my muscular potential, if I ran a calorie surplus, would that be better? Well, you got to remember this. It has to do with somebody's current conditioning. Because if somebody was a couch potato, it really wouldn't matter whether they ran a calorie surplus or deficit or not. By just lifting weights, they would begin to build additional muscle. So they could run a calorie deficit and build significant amounts of muscle because they'd never lifted before in their lives. But if you're talking about somebody who is trying to maximize their muscular potential, the first thing you got to look at is how they lift. Because remember, if you're looking to build as much muscle as possible and get as big as possible, which most guys are, you have to look at somebody's training first and foremost. And I'll give you an example. Two guys start training with me and Justin. They're younger, they're supplementing, and they train hard. But they didn't train as hard and heavy before they started training with us. So they're like, are we doing another set of bench? Are we doing another exercise for chest? So when I do one-arm dumbbell rows, I grab the heaviest dumbbells in the joint, the 130s, do it for 10. One of the other guys grabs the hundreds, does it for 10. He ain't going to be outdone by me, so his next set, he does the 130s for 10. Now he just went up 30 pounds. He had that capability before, but for some reason in his head, he was stuck lifting the 100s, thinking that he was lifting hard. And he was, but not as hard as he possibly could. So then on the last set, I do 15 reps, he does 12. So he goes from 10 reps to 12, lifting 100 pounds to 130 pounds. So he upped the intensity of his workout right off the bat, right there. So that's what I'm talking about training hard. Regardless of his diet, even with his calories, he would build more muscle because more intense activity, more intense muscular contractions causes greater muscle growth. More of those calories that you take in go towards repairing the muscles. Now, eventually, as somebody begins to max out their muscular potential, and that means they've built as much muscle as they can by training as smartly and intensely at that level, meaning the right exercises, the right amount of sets, the right amount of weight. I mean, they're training hard. Yes, a calorie surplus would definitely allow greater muscular growth because that way you always had some additional calories available to build muscle. And remember, on one of my prior videos, I said the body is only so efficient. It only can use a certain percentage of the calories that it takes in, and that the remaining balance is either excreted or goes to fat. So the body cannot or does not utilize all its calories effectively. So once we take into consideration effective training, smart training, maximizing muscular potential, you've done all the stuff right. Then what the body needs is some additional calories that it can then use to help build additional muscle. So yes, additional calories will help build additional muscle. Now remember this, you want to increase those calories just slightly, nothing crazy, maybe 200 to 300 calories a day. That's about it, because we don't want to begin gaining additional muscle and packing on additional fat. That may occur a little bit, but we just don't want to blow up and look like a blimp. So again, additional calories, that slight surplus that is actually sort of created naturally. Your appetite will increase naturally. So I tell guys when they start lifting with me, just don't even worry about what you're eating. You'll get bigger and stronger naturally. And as we train harder and harder, you're going to notice that you're going to require more sleep, you're going to be a little more tired, and you're probably going to be a little more hungry. So yes, an additional calorie surplus will help with muscular development. I'm Steve Turano. Train smart, train hard.